This is the all-new 2025 Porsche Taycan Turbo S, and it has a lot to offer, including a first look at Apple CarPlay Plus. My name is Matt, and welcome to AutoLab. Not much has changed on the exterior of the Porsche Taycan, however there are a few slight differences, the main one being the new headlights, which unfortunately are only available in the Euro spec because they aren't allowed in the United States. They have the new Audi Matrix system that will actually adaptively change to not illuminate other cars on the road, but still illuminate everything on the road. You do have plenty of trunk space on this model though. You have a deep bucket that you can fit things in, change your washer fluid right here, and all of this is specific just to the auto show, so you aren't going to have a cable or loose trim here at all. And you do have this nice little handy tool belt. And something new that they also did with this is the monochromatic Porsche badge. It is different from all of the other generations because this one is just a nice monochromatic sleek color, and it's meant to symbolize their EVs. All the other regular internal combustion engine Porsches will still have the multicolored Porsche badge, whereas this one will be monochromatic. Now, even though the design hasn't changed too much, there is no longer an air curtain here on the side, but they did do some kind of science to actually reduce the drag coefficient of this car. And you can kind of see that the overall design of it still kind of consistently stays the same all the way through the back. However, they did some other different changes here on the back. The illuminated Porsche logo is very nice and inlaid into the brake lights, and it looks pretty cool. And you can actually kick this to open it up. Like that. And you do have plenty of trunk space back here, as well as some storage space underneath, because you don't really have to fit a lot underneath this car, just the battery pack. Now, while the exterior and the interior are relatively the same, this new color is their shade green. But let's go ahead and hop onto the interior, because like I had mentioned, there is the new Apple CarPlay Plus, which we want to take a look at. So before we hop into the interior, I did want to show you this. What's new to this generation is soft close, so you can just lightly close it and it will automatically pull it in. And when you lock the car, you can see that the door handles go nice and flush with the wall, and they're pretty much just haptic touch, so you can just slide your finger under here and open it back up. Now, the interior of the Porsche Taycan is relatively the same as the previous generation. The only major difference is the passenger screen. They now made it a privacy screen, so the driver can't get really distracted with it. The only person that can see it is the passenger. So that is one really nice feature, and that screen actually pays homage to old rally racers, because you could have one person sit there, look at the screen, and do all the lap times and actually see the track, and the driver is meant to focus on the road. Now, like I said, this is pretty similar to the previous generation of the Porsche Taycan. You have your gauge cluster up here, but there is some downsides to it. Everything here I cannot see because of the steering wheel, but you do have your digital gauge cluster that shows you your maps, your range, and pretty much everything that a gauge cluster should show you. The main difference is this screen here. They did do a lot of updates with it when it comes to the software, and it does look and feel really nice. And because this is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, you have a lot of new features in here. You can go in here to car, you can change your drive mode, the chassis, you can actually lower, raise the car and everything, and do a lot of stuff to change the way that this car actually drives and feels. Down here you have your climate control, where you can adjust your ventilated seats, heated seats, and your overall temperature of the cabin. So it does feel nice to use, but the haptic feedback of it does not really feel that great. It kind of feels like an old HTC One, if you've ever used the haptic feedback on one of those old Android phones. It's not great, but at least you know that you're touching it, and you can at least swipe to control this rather than having to sit here and consistently try and tap a button that doesn't exist when you are driving. Now, one of the coolest features of this car is actually the glass roof. This one you can adjust to pretty much be opaque or completely clear, or you can do semi, you can do bold. It's genuinely a really cool feature that the Porsche Taycan has. Everything else in the interior feels exactly like a Porsche though. You do have your lap counter up here, but in this car it is pretty much just a clock. You have an Alcantara sporty steering wheel that is specific to the Turbo S that also is carbon fiber, and then the rest of the car is Alcantara as well. But since this is the regular sedan, I do want to see how much headroom we have in the back. In the back, you can see that the seats are very nice and sporty. They are kind of like bucket seats, and they feel great and kind of hold you in every single way that you wish they could. There are only 2 seats. There is no middle seat in this car. It is fully taken up by this little tray to hold everything in, as well as some cup holders here for you. But what is really nice and luxurious back here is that you do have heated seats and dual zone climate control. So this car has 4 zones for climate. Each passenger can attune this car to every single way that they like to. But as you can see, my feet and legs are pretty close to the person in front of me, so I don't have a lot of feet room, but my knees actually don't feel that cramped. Headroom is pretty spacious, but I am 5'10", so there's not really much room for anybody else in this car. And one last thing, this car does come with Bose audio, which is a little lacking compared to other luxurious brands. Like the new QX80 actually comes with Klipsch audio, and some other brands have Harman Kardon. And Bose audio isn't really that premium in a car like this that you're paying $90,000 for. I do wish that there was an extra level above Bose audio. So this was the first look at the 2025 Taycan Turbo S Euro spec, and I do want to see what is going to be available in the North American spec, because it's going to be a little different. Thank you for watching, and like always, subscribe if you want to see more New York International Auto Show coverage, because we're going to be here all day filming.